First, my thoughts about the PC version. I can be quick about this. Using an Xbox controller, I breezed through the opening races, noticing a reasonable amount of frame drop in the second race when entering the start-finish straight. When it came time to actually get started on my career, I picked my car, and when I was finally just about to start the practice run, the game crashed. I then stopped playing the PC version. The next day I installed the Xbox version of the game and started playing that. On the Xbox, I play with a racing wheel and pedals. I've played a couple of hours so far, on the most realistic setting damage and penalty wise, and these are my thoughts. I like the fact that I can scrape, scratch and damage my car. This is something that I always missed a lot in Gran Turismo, as it kind of encourages neater driving. The penalty system seems pretty fair. I've had a few knocks here and there and ran off the track a couple of times, and more often than not, I got no penalty time for it. When I did get a penalty, it did not feel excessive and certainly not unfair. And remember, if you don't like the penalties, you can turn them off. The graphics look good on the Xbox, and I haven't noticed any slowdown there. They are not groundbreaking, but very much adequate for purpose. The cars are not unrealistically shiny, nor are they blocky. The only real weirdness I have noticed that has been in all the Forza games, as far as I can recall, is that when a wheel locks up, the actual, very sharp wheel texture pops onto the wheel, and that can be a bit distracting. But I have only really noticed that during a replay. The car performance compared to the real-life counterparts seems okay. It's off by a few kilometers an hour per gear on the Honda Civic stock model, but nothing too bad. The gear shifts in a manual car seem a tad slow, as if the person driving the car isn't used to driving stick, although this slowness also comes with an advantage, as it seems the driver does actually skip gears if you shift down twice rapidly. He won't go from 4th to 3rd to 2nd, but straight from 4th to 2nd, if you shift quickly twice in a row. The physics are, well, Forza physics. They have always been different to, let's say, Gran Turismo. When first playing Forza, the actual first one on the original Xbox, I was off the track constantly until I learned to brake before the corners and to keep the car steady. I would say it is a bit less forgiving than Gran Turismo in this regard, but once you get used to it, it is fine. Also, with the slow gear changes, you need to anticipate them. You cannot shift down at the start of a turn because the actual shift will happen in the turn, and that will throw the car off balance. The number of tracks you can race on seems to be a bit lower than in other racing games, at least at the moment. Some iconic tracks seem to be missing, even ones that were in previous Forza versions, but I guess getting licenses to use the tracks isn't always possible, so I can't blame the game if the track simply was not available. The tracks themselves look good, with some nice touches of cracked asphalt, sand on the track, and other imperfections. Whether this actually influences the driving, I don't know. I haven't noticed it yet. I haven't tried multiplayer yet, but it looks like you cannot race with in private lobbies, so a relaxing multiplayer game with few friends. I have. That actually also play. This will always have a shortage of cars on track. That seems a shame. It would have been nice to race against friends and against a field of AI, so that the human who is in last place can at least still beat the computer. All in all, I can't really be negative about the Xbox version of Forza Motorsport. I have enjoyed my first couple of hours, and certainly for the price of €0, it seems to be a fun game which just takes some getting used to physics-wise. But I cannot say for certain that I think it is worth the €80 to actually buy the game. Does it actually bring enough to the table for that? Maybe I can answer that question after racing a few more hours. At the moment, I simply don't know.